Hello and welcome everyone to another night of the SharpSHOOTers. As always, we're your hosts, Danny and Juice. How you doing tonight, Juice?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm doing good. I'm ready to talk some wrestling. The week that was, as we like to say, or as I like to say, and some good, some bad. A pretty whirlwind of a week.
I'll just
So I
say
think we
there's
gotta.
a lot of news to talk about at least, so it won't be a boring night. Just I don't know what kind
Yeah,
of mood we're gonna be in after tonight.
it's a whirlwind of a week, and a lot to get into. So I'm ready.
As always, a little housekeeping before we continue. Thank you. Where is Matt? Don't get me started on that. Uh, Thank you to Accept the Wind for our music and our breaks and ads. That's very nice of you guys. Please hit them up on Spotify if you haven't done so already. Also, as you can see below, we're a little low on our subs. Chat, if you could please help us out, especially if you're one of our continuous subbers. If you can re-up this month, that would be greatly appreciated. If you have a Prime account, Amazon Prime, in the chat there's some details. It's free for you, so you could give us a nice free sub. Costs you nothing, gives us some things. We're trying to upgrade this computer. We're trying to upgrade some stuff, so please help us out. We'd really
Up
appreciate it.
computer.
Well,
Up computer.
well, we need it to run the thing.
Yeah, no, I said help computer.
Oh, I thought you said fuck computer. I was like, whoa.
No, no. I have a question. What if I have Tubi? Do I get a free Prime? Do I get a free gaming sub to give you if I have Tubi?
I have no idea. Does Subi go with Prime?
What if I have Hulu? Do I have
I
with
don't
that as well?
know. It has to be Prime.
It's right. It does have to be Prime. Thank you, Danny. So again, if you have Amazon Prime, be sure to use it. Give us your free sub. If you like
All
subs.
right. So tonight is Thursday. That means you tuned in for some wrestling business. If you haven't seen this before, we have all our topics on the side there and our timer on top. We try to stick within the timer. Sometimes we go over. We try not to, but sometimes we got a lot to talk about. So let's start off with you, Juice. AEW. What you got for me?
Yeah, speaking of whirlwind, kicking it off here on the AEW side, we have some releases. Pretty rare. Does not happen ever, honestly, on the rare occasion, especially on this scale. So first off, we had Bear Boulder, which was a little bit of different circumstances, domestic violence
It's a bad man.
case where he was arrested, and obviously don't condone that at all. I won't go into the details here on the show, but he was released, part of the Iron Savages. Um, Unfortunate for Bear Bronson and for Jack Jameson. I did enjoy the team. Obviously, they were never like a top scale team.
Yeah, but they were
But
like a fun comedy team.
yeah, I mean, come on, Titty City. So no more Titty City, unfortunately.
I
But
think they
yeah,
had
it
like
happens. Yeah, so that one's unfortunate. The bigger ones, though, the floodgates opened after months, some would even say years. Malachi Black, Miro, and Ricky Starks all released this week. Huge. I mean, long time coming for a lot of people. Um, Ricky Starks already ending up on NXT this
Yeah,
past
that's
Tuesday. Like
crazy.
24 hours later, he was
Mm-hmm.
there. So inevitable, knew it was going to happen. Not surprised. Honestly, not even surprised that it was this quick.
I
Personally,
just figured you would have given him like at least a bigger show, wait for like a takeover or something. But like, nah, they
well,
wanted to just get him right on TV right away. So that's cool. Good for him, I guess.
they have a takeover this Saturday actually.
That's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't you wait for the takeover? Like they used to. Like that was the cool thing about
Well,
takeovers. Like when you knew there was releases and you're waiting to see if they would show, they'd be like in the crowd or like they'd make their debut at a takeover.
yeah,
Like that was legit.
yeah, yeah. I don't mind it honestly, just because again they're going for the shock value and the
No, that's
TV is more
fair.
important for their rating. But they also love to do that where the week of a pay-per-view they'll do a big surprise on TV and you're like, why not wait? But I digress. Um, yeah. So I mean, we talked about them each more or less here or there. Miro, I'm not going to miss at all. He was a complete dud of a hire, waste of everyone's time. Starks and Malachi, I love them both. It's a
Yeah.
shame to see them go. Clearly, Starks never wanted to be. Well, not never wanted to be
I was
there.
just saying, I don't think
Starks,
never wanted to be there, but once Cody
yeah,
left,
yeah, no.
he was done.
Starks clearly wanted to go to WWE, whether to be with Cody and Jade or just in general for his career, and that's fine. but like it was so obvious for so long, and that's why he probably didn't get used or touched on
Yeah.
TV. And then Malachi, same thing, man. If he just wants to be with Zelina, back on
See,
SmackDown,
I don't agree though. I
then
think
fine.
Malachi like got turned off. Like Malachi wanted to come to AEW and do some shit, and then they just, I mean, and then they TK didn't book him right. So like, or
I
well,
don't know. Well, that's the thing. We don't know the story, so we have to assume it's one or the other. It's either Tony Khan completely just like flaked out on him and just did not use him at all, or Malachi really had an attitude and didn't want to take pins and losses and do X, Y, Z. I don't
I
know,
don't know.
but it's a shame, and I wouldn't be surprised. I think Malachi is going to end up back on SmackDown
Oh
eventually,
yeah, for
and
sure.
I don't think Miro's going to go back. I don't think Miro's going
I,
to do anything. I
yeah,
don't.
I think he's just doing video game stuff. Like he's good with that. I don't think he's going to wrestle too much. He might make some appearances for Independence or whatever, but like nothing substantial.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's a shame. But the last thing I want to say about it though is all that being said, it speaks volumes that with the floodgates open, so to speak, they still did not
Thank you.
release Ray Phoenix. Ray
That's
Phoenix.
crazy.
Um, and
And
again, if
this
the, if the
is you.
stories if the stories are true and what everything with what Penta did and how they were trying to get out of there and got caught and Conan and all that, then I don't blame them. I make an example,
I guess,
but
but at the same time, just like Ricky Starks wasn't like being quiet or doing it the right way either. They just didn't put him on TV after a while because they didn't book him well. So like I don't
yeah,
know, kind of
it's all messy.
yeah. I'm not crazy about it. Just release them all at the same like whatever. He's gonna. It's
Yeah.
unless you're just waiting for after WrestleMania from a business standpoint. I can understand that, but if you're gonna release him before WrestleMania, regardless, this is I don't know.
Yeah.
Let him go now.
Yeah, and not to go too deep down the fantasy booking rabbit hole, but if it was up to me and like Phoenix was gone and quiet and we didn't know, what I would do is I would have Chad Gable come back with Ray Phoenix as a heel
That would be
going
dope.
after Penta.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like do it not to put it at that scale, but to try and recreate like a Taker Kane like brother thing,
Yeah, that would be dope.
if that makes sense. But okay,
All
that's
right,
it for that.
moving on.
Moving on. Undisputed Kingdom had a big week, man. Collision. I was hyped.
I really enjoyed
They
it.
they won the triple threat tag match. Um, and I don't think it was ever officially for a title shot, but they kind of made it sound like it was on Dynamite. But whatever. But hey,
Yeah, I don't.
the
When they said that on Dynamite, I kept thinking, I'm like, wait, did they announce
it,
this was a number one contenders match? Like, I kept thinking
they
back,
they
I'm like,
didn't they didn't
they
they
didn't.
didn't.
Okay, cool. I thought it was
No.
just real high.
No. But hey, then the Death Riders showing up wearing the trio's titles. They list
Finally,
they do exist. They listened finally.
let's
They
go
showed up with them, and they even got a match this past Wednesday on Dynamite.
with
Now,
them on
unfortunately,
again, two and twice.
with them on again, which was nice. Great match, loved it. I knew that was going to be the finish. Not to knock it, but this was a pre-taped Dynamite,
Yeah,
so I didn't. And the fact that like nothing was online talking about anything, I figured nothing really substantial happened on the show, like that to that level of a title change.
agreed.
But
But it was
still a great match.
I was gonna say, great match. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Long match too. They gave it some time, which I didn't mind at all. And I
Mhm.
hope this really starts leading to like either those belts coming off them or just more shots. And it
Or
was crazy that they even said during the match last night, like they haven't defended the belts since November. Like you had already said that a few weeks ago. And it's like Jesus,
yeah.
man, November's so
like
far away.
and
like
like
we
it's been like
haven't
three
seen
months. Like,
them.
well, it's been 3 months, and they've had the belts for six of them.
It's
So
crazy. It's
half
crazy.
the reign they've been missing. The only thing I will say I didn't like, and we've talked about this before on the show. Again, Death Riders having to cheat to win. It sucks because like the words don't match the narrative of the actions, and
Yeah.
that's where the disconnect I think is for a lot of people with Death Riders.
Yeah.
Is like they're saying XYZ, and you're like, all right, I can get behind this, like the reasoning and the methodology and all that stuff. But then you go and you cheat, and it's like,
Like you
come
can be
on.
just a legit heel badass like group and just
Yeah.
win sometimes. That's okay, and they don't. It's annoying.
Yeah. So I like the match. I wish they would have won. I knew they weren't going to. But I hope, fingers crossed, more going forward. And Cole's looked great ever since they've done
Yeah,
this. I think best thing for him. He's looked
I
great.
think
And
he's been
apparently
more
he was sick.
confident.
Apparently he was sick for that match. So props to him for
MJ
pulling
match, good
through.
for him.
Yeah. Moving on to Harley Cameron, another one, man. A dynamite knockout win, well, not win, just a week for her between Collision with the halftime Harley bit,
It was
where
so much
Mercedes
fun.
came
It
out.
was so fun.
She's a home run,
I love it.
and everything's been amazing. It's been very fun to watch this program between them, and I love the little music video on Wednesday night.
Hmm.
That that turns kind of serious then halfway in. I'm gonna say it again. I think she needs to win on
I would
Saturday.
love it.
I'm the biggest Mercedes fan you probably know, but she needs to win here. I think
I
this is
think
the
that'd be the
time,
smartest thing.
and we'll get to it more with the Grand Slam predictions part. But like, it just makes it would be such a great moment that you can make something out of it after. Like, it just need to be a one-off thing, like they
Especially
used to
because they
do
need
with.
to, they need one of those moments, and I don't think the other matches are going to deliver that. So
Yeah,
I think this
yeah,
might be the one. But we'll get into
yeah,
that later.
and I won't even be mad if Mercedes retains. I mean, again, either way, I'm gonna come out as a winner. I like to think if they give it enough time, I think Harley's gonna really show out too, because this is a
Mm-hmm.
big match for Harley.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, she's only had a few wins, some in Ring of Honor, but like on AEW, like, yeah, this would be huge.
Agreed.
Um, yeah, just a huge. I love everything about it. She's super entertaining.
No, it's been
Love it,
it's
love
been
it, love
so
it.
good, and the best part about the halftime show is just the Like I said, bringing out more of Mercedes' personality too. Like you got to see like an angry
Mhm.
Mercedes. You get to see her like kind of go back and forth more fluidly. I really just enjoyed the whole feud. It's
Mhm.
really what I've been asking for, and I love it. And I feel like
Mhm.
this past week has been a lot of stuff that we've been asking for, and I've been really excited with
Eh.
AEW.
Yeah, yeah, and what was I gonna say? Even like with Mercedes, I guess she like hates the puppet and is annoyed by it, but like it's entertaining because she's then tweeting online pictures of the puppet like, on their own, like no context, and it just makes it funny. Like, I don't know, just something about it. Like she hates it, but she likes it,
Hmm.
and I think that's part of the story too. Like she's showing that she's kind of entertained by what Harley's doing,
Yeah,
still annoyed at it. So it's a fun balance.
because
Um,
she's not a threat for Mercedes, so she can be entertained by it. And like I get it, but it's very
yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah, and speaking of moving on, once again, another women's program, match that has been very entertaining with the build.
Love it.
Tony Storm, I mean, again, another huge segment on Collision.
Yep.
With the return of Luther, I almost called him Ruther. The return of Luther, the butler, but he was a little more talkative this time. He wasn't doing the whole silent
I was very
butler thing I
surprised by that.
noticed. So I think they just dumped that part of it and said, okay, be a little more you now. But we'll see how that goes. Maybe it won't be. Maybe we just heard him on accident. I
I,
don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
mind that
Luther.
though because I think you need to change up the timeless thing just a little bit. Like it can't be the same
Mhm.
exact run again. So like if you tweak it where like Luther's a little more talkative or whatever, I think that'll help it out.
Yeah, and then also I love the switcheroo bit that they did with the enhancement talent that got taken out and dressed up as Tony. Mariah went to go yell at Luther. It was a great bait and switch to make us look
Yeah.
at Luther. And then and then Tony switched out and like you couldn't tell like until like they like the moment. So
And
and that's
and
what makes
even
it work.
and even a lot of fans like you heard the reaction because they were focused on Luther. So like some of the
Hmm.
fans that were there didn't see it and then they like reacted like, "Oh shit, like that's her. Let's go." You know what I mean? That's awesome when you can do something like that live.
Yeah. No, for sure. And again, just wanted to give that props. I love the whole story going on there. I'm really curious what happens at Grand Slam. But that one, apparently, it looks like it's main eventing. If you haven't
That
heard
would
or seen,
make the most sense.
it looks like it's closing the show.
Especially because you're not having
Um,
a world title match. So, like, why would you? Well, men's world title match, excuse
yeah,
me.
no, very true, very true. And before we get to the next point, just the generality about both shows this week. I thought Collision was once again very good.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a hit for a long time now, and Dynamite was good. I like Dynamite. It was paced very well. with the talking and the segments and the matches. Like that's really all it is. It's just a good sauce of a good balance and good pacing.
Agreed.
And even though there were, I think, like three squash matches on the show, like quick matches, they at least made them all work with a purpose as to why, with with the things that they did in between them. So I could forgive it, but if that was up to me, I would have tried to like maybe get another longer match in there. But again, that's just me nitpicking. Killer Tomato says collision a hit. I see what you did there. Yeah, not intentional, but yeah, I'll take it.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, there's yeah. Well, we can move on. There was only one bit I didn't like on on Dynamite last night, but due to my promise to our viewers, I will not be talking about it. But if you know me, you know what it is. All right, moving on to the main event of Collision. Um, Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe rematch from the Continental Classic. Man, just honestly, I just want to give this one kudos. Great match. I loved the table spot on the outside with the elbow where Fletcher kind of jumped up in and into it. Um, yeah, and yeah, Fletcher gets his win back, but that's fine. He needs it going into the tag match on Saturday. I love the match. I don't know what you thought about it, but just great stuff. If you didn't see Collision, try and go out of your way to watch at least the main event.
Yeah, no, it was a great main event. I do, I know it said like it was obvious, but part of me was wondering if like Briscoe would just be that little thorn in Fletcher's like side for a
Yeah,
while, and I was kind of hoping
fair.
that's what they would go with it. But I love that he got the win back. I think that him and Konosuke look really strong going into Saturday, and I would actually be surprised if they lost. We'll talk about that more, but like I think they look super strong going into Saturday.
Yeah, that's really all I had. I love the match. I just wanted to give it some love here on the show. Next up, just wanted to talk about Megan Bain. Wanted to see what you were thinking, what your temperature is on her, because I don't really like. I knew of her beforehand. I never really saw her stuff to like have history on her, and I'll admit I'm still waiting for like I'm waiting to hear her talk, hear her promo skills and her ability. So far in matches, like I'm not seeing much because it's all like the same like few
Squash, yeah.
power moves and squash matches. So like the jury's still out on me. I'm still on the fence, and I also do think her face. I know she's doing like the whole like goddess thing, but like I don't know, her face looks like she's bored out there, like she's sleeping, and that's again my first personal opinion. But I want to see what you thought about her so far as a new viewer to her.
So yeah, 100%. I have no idea who she is. So this is a debut to me. I agree about the face. I'm trying to kind of look past it and be like, all right, I see what she's trying to do. I think Statlander is the perfect first
Mhm.
opponent, especially if she's experienced, to really gauge like what she's going to be able to do both on the mic, in the ring, because the power moves are great, but we've seen the power moves, especially on the women's side. We've seen a lot of like power women in AEW, so like that's not impressive anymore. And I enjoy the look, I enjoy the gimmick, but I need to see.
Yeah, I still need to see that. I need
Yeah,
more.
exactly.
You know, like I'm still not sold on her,
But
and
I'm not like
yeah.
fast forwarding her through her stuff. Like I watched her.
No,
You know what I mean? So
no.
I
Well,
watched the
yeah,
squash
I'm
match. I see the
trying.
Statlander interaction. Like that was all good to me. But like
Mhm.
eventually, I might fast forward if this continues. You know, like I gotta see something different.
Yeah, no, I'm not looking to fast forward. It's just like I said, I'm still learning
No,
her,
for
so to
sure.
speak, and like Queen Aminata does the same thing, and that's why I'm kind of like, all right, is it a queen goddess thing where they both kind of come out, do that pose, and kind of have that like stillness in their face? And listen, if it's the gimmick,
But Queen
and I'm
Aminata
being
like
nitpicky,
shows more emotion during matches and stuff.
not
You
really.
don't think so?
Not really.
Okay.
Uh, Again, it's just my opinion. Maybe I am wrong. I just I like and Aminata's
I'm
okay.
also
I
not
like
a fan of
Aminato.
Aminata, so like I don't
Yeah,
know.
she's all right. Like I'm not big on her, but she's okay. Like she's not when I see her, I'm not going, "Oh, this sucks." Like she's a good talent, but she doesn't like hot me in that way.
Oh,
Um,
hey,
I'll stop it. Um, yeah, that's all. I just wanted to see what you would think about Megan Bain. So we'll see. Jury's out. We'll see where it goes.
see
I do
Killer
think she
Tomato.
might end up. I think it'd be nice if they made her like not the muscle for. I think they want to make her the feature attraction, but I put Penelope Ford with her. to get more women involved, and that's just a generality. These women got to get more involved on the TV, man. Like I love them, and the division's so good, and it's like when you see what WWE does with the women versus AEW, it's like just give them the time. Don't give them their one match, 15-minute, 20-minute segment of the show. Like I get that WWE has more time, but like they gave the women like the full 30, 45, 30, 40 minutes of Raw this week.
Yeah.
So whatever. All right, moving on. Adam Page and MJF heating up. Great brawl around the ring, around the arena, rather. MJF still throwing beers in people's faces, still ripping signs and all that good
Bro,
stuff.
it's wild that he's doing this so consistently.
Yeah. And I do find it interesting that, like, I'm glad, don't get me wrong, I'm glad he's not around, but I just find it interesting that, like, Jarrett just completely disappeared, like, in the story.
Yeah, it's...
Um,
It sounded
I'm
even
with
like
it.
he got, like, hurt, though. That's what I'm... Like, he didn't get, like, a crazy bad beatdown where, like, he had to be medically incompetent for a while, but whatever.
Yeah, you'd think, but whatever. Again, I'm not crying about it. I'm fine with it. Let him fade away. Who's killed his push? Hey, you know what? Maybe
I
hey,
hope so.
between the trios title showing up, Jarrett not fading away. Now we just got to get Lashley off the fucking TV.
And you know what?
But,
really quick, I'll say one more thing about all that. And Shafir actually attacking a female wrestler and getting involved in something. Wild.
Yeah. Ashley took out Willow.
Crazy.
They did something with the Suki. So a lot of things. And listen, I get there's like long-term booking and be patient, and that's fine. But like everything was kind of stacking up, and that's where the frustrations come.
Agreed.
Where it's like there's so many things not being done.
Agreed.
And like stuff like the trios titles, I don't think is really a long-term creative like weight thing. That's a you kind of problem, you know what I mean?
Back to Paige and MJF. Sorry.
Yeah, so Paige and MJF. I'm assuming they're going to do the match at Revolution at this point.
Yeah, I think.
I don't really think you'd hold that off, and I don't think you'd hold that until Dynasty. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I would see where it goes. Obviously, they're testing the waters here with Paige between MJF and Max Caster. They're getting him set for the baby turn if he's not already there, honestly.
I mean, he just saved Dustin, so like that's a big baby push. That's like a big baby move.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't always see it as him saving Dustin. I just see it as him wanting to. He didn't really like defend Dustin. He just kind of went after.
Well,
MJF.
he stopped MJF from attacking Dustin after the match.
Yeah, but I don't think the intent there was to help him rather just to go after him. While we may want to say that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they're teasing it, but I don't think it's there yet. I think it's just a matter of. Like the crowd is starting to cheer him, but he's not officially a baby yet. He's showing the reactions where it's coming. That's all I'm saying. Watch for all next week there'll be a segment where they go, "I wasn't trying to help you," blah blah blah. But yeah,
they hurt us.
Either way, I like the story. I like what's going on. Again, between Paige, MJF, and Swerve and Ricochet, two really good. Like upper, lower main event talent kind of things going on right now,
and that's the kind of stuff you need. You need stuff away from the belts. You need stuff that's gonna like be its own match, its own stakes that like people can get into. And these are two matches that are really getting into that. I love it a lot.
Yeah. So last up for AEW, let's talk Grand Slam. Now, for anybody here watching, whether you're watching live or on demand here on Twitch or on our YouTube, which you can find in our link tree link down below there, all of our socials are there. Grand Slam this Saturday night. It is airing on TBS and Max at 10:30 p.m. or later, depending on when the NBA All-Star
that's
events
true. It's definitely going to be 11 o'clock, bro. That dunk contest takes forever sometimes.
So it's probably starting around 10:30 and 11. And something to keep in mind for everybody is that this is a pre-taped show. It is not airing live. It is going to be taped on our time. It's going to be taped on Saturday morning at like 2 a.m. So if you want to avoid spoilers for this show, stay away from social media all day Saturday. Otherwise, you're going to be spoiled.
To be honest with you, they should just do what WWE did when they did the Beast in the East, when AJ and them wrestled over there, where they just air the show. Whoever wants to stay up and watch it, stay up and watch it. So this way you can't say like, oh, like you were hiding the
Yeah.
spoilers or whatever. I would just air it, especially if you have on demand. You have Max. What's gonna air at 2 a.m. that's gonna be
I mean,
better ratings than that? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
I get what you're saying. To be fair, I mean, at least Beast in the East was just a house show that they kind of dressed up. They didn't really promote it on TV for like a month. But I get your point of just airing it live on Max when it's streaming, like stream it live. Um, but yeah,
It is what
this
it
is the
is.
situation. This is the situation we're in. So again, stay away from the internet all day Saturday if you want to be spoiler free. Because again, this is a big show, and
I
I feel
know.
like you're gonna want to be spoiler free.
So what's the?
So
Because I'm
really,
not watching this till Sunday now. I'm definitely not watching this Sunday. I have a wedding Saturday night. All right, predictions. What do we got?
so predictions. No formal predictions. They don't count. Not a pay per view, but just to go through the card really quick. Mariah May versus Toni Storm in the main event for the women's title. Uh, I'm going with Mariah May.
Mariah. Yeah.
I think she's gonna hold it. I mean,
I
would I
agree.
mind if Tony won it again? No, but I don't think you should do that to Mariah's reign. So yeah, I'm going with Mariah to retain in the main event. Okada versus
I'm going to say
Buddy.
this for a lot of these matches, by the way. I'm not going to be upset with the result either way, but I'm just saying what I think makes more sense.
Yeah, and then you have Okada versus Buddy for the Continental Championship.
Okada.
I'd love to see the surprise of Buddy winning it, but it's probably going to be Okada.
I just think they're trying to do something, even though they're trying to say like Hounds of Hell can do their own thing. Right now, they're going to might push them as a tag team because they're going to need someone to really go after Bobby and Shelton and be believable. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to win it now.
Yeah. And then you got the Brisbane Brawl. You have Cope and Jay White teaming up against Moxley and Claudio.
What do you think about this one?
I feel like Cope and White need to win it. Get the win going into Revolution. Because then Mox is probably going to beat him at Revolution. So I would
was
do
thinking that too. I also
Yeah.
but thinking along the lines we were talking about before, I think the heels also need like a. The problem is they're not going to get a clean win. If they win, it's going to be a dirty win again.
Well, it's a Brisbane Brawl. It's a street fight, so that's fine.
But that's what I'm saying. When I mean clean win, I mean no interference. Like I don't mind if they beat them with weapons or whatever, but like there's going to be interference. There's going to be a 4-on-2. You hope FTR comes in. You hope Daniel Garcia.
Well, I can give that all a pass.
in.
Again, I can give that all a pass when it's a street fight. I don't mind it. Then.
But yeah, no, I think just because they're gonna get help from other people, we'll go with Cope and Moxley. With Cope and Jay White also.
Yeah, and then we got TBS title Mercedes Moné versus Harley Cameron. We talked about before. I'm Harley Cameron. Let's go, man. Do
and
it.
Also because I think there's like the potential of Jay White losing, also might push like Cameron gets the win also in Australia.
And that's what's crazy. It's like you think about it, like every match has an Australian in it except for that one because I think technically Jay White's from New Zealand. But
he's hyping it up like it's his hometown.
Oh, I mean, New Zealand, Kiwis, the whole it's in their geography. But that's the thing. It's like you think about it, it's like, are you really gonna do all 5 matches with the Australians losing in all 5? Like you can't.
You
can't. It's a terrible look.
So like a good one that you could get a win is the Harley Cameron match.
Yeah, well, no, for sure. But again, 3 of them are title matches. That's why. And then you think also the final match, Ospreay and Omega, the Mega team, teaming up against Fletcher and Takeshita. And that's one again where I think Fletcher and Takeshita could win it because again, I think the dissension will creep in.
Mm-hmm.
The whole can they coexist thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think there will be something, and that's what's going to lead to it.
I think they've had also such a strong, like, showing an alliance on TV so quickly that eventually, like, the egos are going to get in the way. Also,
so there will be a crack somewhere.
So
I'm excited. I'm excited for the show.
It's going to be such a good show. Like going through that right now, it's a great match card, and literally every match, I'm like, this person might win, but I don't care if that person wins. Like every match, I'm not going to be upset with the results. I don't think
it's legit a show where either person can win all 5 matches, and that's amazing. That's when you got a good show
and good booking, like good storytelling, like. That's what we've been waiting for. I'm very happy these past few weeks. All right.
So I'm excited for that, and I know we're not talking about it, but in general, I'm hoping earlier in the day, like around 6 o'clock, I think NXT has their quote unquote takeovers that they're doing.
Oh
So
yeah.
it should be a really good night of wrestling. I'm very optimistic because even though I don't watch NXT, at least the takeovers can kind of show out if the crowd's good
Yeah, I think this
these
is going to be a
days.
good triple threat for the championship between Waller, Theory, and Femi.
Boba Femi, yeah.
Yeah,
The women's match looks very good. It's
Roxanne versus.
Julia,
Oh yeah,
it's,
that's right.
it's Julia, Roxanne, Cora Jade, and Bailey.
Oh,
So
all right. And then
yeah, so yeah,
Ricky Stark's going to make an appearance.
you'd think at least probably
Probably.
sit in front row or
Yeah.
something, doing his little pose. Also, they didn't say his name, so he might not be Ricky Starks.
I noticed that too. I want to see what they call him. I want to see what he calls himself.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to be Ricky Starks.
Yeah,
I don't think
probably
so.
not.
All
We'll
right,
see.
ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break here. Please don't go anywhere. Take some time. Give us a sub. Give us a follow. Check out the link tree. Whatever you like to do. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Following. Okay, this is me following.
Welcome back, everyone. And we are going to continue our last point standing WWE version. You ready, Juice?
Yeah, sure.
You sure? All right.
Let's,
We start
let's do
off
it.
with more releases this
Woo!
time from
Woo!
WWE. So, in case you missed it, here's the full list of releases that WWE did this week. Authors of Pain, Paul Ellering, Cedric Alexander, Sonya Deville, Blair Davenport, Isla Dawn, Giovanni Vinci, The Good Brothers, and Elektra Lopez. You're shaking your head. Whose name did I get wrong?
Isla
Isla.
Dawn.
There's an S there.
Well,
That's
it's silent.
That's no. Don't put
Yes.
silent letters in your name. That's stupid. Anyway, so of all these names, the only one I'm actually surprised by is Sonya Deville, because she seemed like she was like the de facto leader of the Pure Fusion Collective.
So she was a little different though. Her contract, they told her she just wasn't being renewed. Her contract was coming to an end. All these other ones had time left. So yeah, I guess that's why it sticks out as being, because again, she was in the Rumble. She like did the spots.
That's what I'm saying. Like all the other ones, like I haven't seen. Authors of Pain, you kind of saw, but not really. They weren't like doing much. But that was the only one that was like consistently on TV that I was surprised about.
Yeah, and listen, I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on here for a second, and just say like between this on Friday and then what AEW did on Monday, I think WWE knew. I think that both companies kind of knew what they were doing, and like someone got to the other. Like I think someone in WWE in advance knew that Tony was going to be doing this with everybody, and they were clearing house to make room for any of this talents. I think they already brought in Starks. I think they want to bring in Malachi. I think they're probably going to bring in Miro. I don't think they should, but
I hope they don't.
Again, that's
just because they're not going to use him right.
Oh, I know. So that's a little tinfoil hat on my part, but because
no, that would make sense. That would make sense from the WWE part. That wouldn't make sense from the AEW part for them to like release them knowing WWE is doing releases. But that does make sense that WWE did that.
Yeah, I basically like Starks probably told them, hey, like
they told me I'm coming out. Yeah,
something like that. Because also NXT call ups, they're probably making room, but usually they do these releases after
WrestleMania.
So it's a little weird to do it now.
And there probably will be more after Mania. Let's not pretend there won't be, but like
probably
a good chunk now, especially like some main roster ones too. And I am a little upset looking back at the list. I think Blair Davenport, I thought she was going to be like a good like wrestler for the division, but I guess not.
Yeah, that was a bust of a call up. Yeah. She did nothing. But like honestly, so okay, I don't like AOP. I don't like Isla Dawn. So those three and Ellering, bye. I don't care. But like everybody else, I more or less liked in terms of talent, and I'm a little surprised. I mean, they weren't really being used, so that's not the surprise, except for Sonya. But like truthfully, I wouldn't want any of these people in AEW right now.
Yeah. No, none of them need to go over. Maybe Cedric Alexander, but that's just if they're gonna put him with the Hurt Business and kind of let that kind of go.
Hurt Syndicate.
Hurt Syndicate. I apologize. You're right.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. The roster's so big right now for AEW and Ring of Honor, and it's like they're barely using them with less TV time now. Like Sonya would do good there. Honestly, dude, I think Sonya's gonna go try and act. I think she's gonna try Hollywood.
I don't think Sonya would do good there.
And I think she would be okay. She's competent enough in the ring, like
I guess.
But my whole thing is now like with WWE and TNA being partners, like you lose that TNA pipeline where I can look at all these names and be like, oh, they'll end up in TNA. But it's like I think of like like the Simpsons meme where Abe Simpson comes in the bar, walks out, and like back and forth. That's what it is with Anderson and Gallows. Like they were in TNA, went to WWE, got fired with the TNA, got fired, went to they're in a cycle. And now it's like, where are they going to go? So I'm really curious where some of these talents do end up, and that's why I do think some of them are going to end up in AEW. But truthfully, I wouldn't hire any of them. Like maybe Sonya, but even then, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, me neither. You know who's going to get hired? It's going to be Paul Ellering, though, so they can do more managers because they love their managers. All right, moving on. On SmackDown, we saw a women's qualifying match, but I don't know if you noticed on SmackDown, or maybe it was Raw, but they called one of the qualifying matches for the women for the no escape match instead of the elimination chamber. It was a weird typo on the graphic, but it was very
Oh,
funny. Because you just saw
I
like
didn't see it.
every
I
other
didn't see it.
time they put it was elimination chamber, but for one of the women's matches it said no escape match, and I was like, that sounds a little weird. I wouldn't say that again.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I missed that. I didn't see that, and I don't think anybody had Bianca or Piper in the fantasy this week, so I didn't watch this match. But
Hilarious. So Bianca won, no surprise there. She's in the
mhm.
elimination chamber for the women's side. Nothing really happened as far as storyline for the Jade Cargill thing. So as of right now, Bianca's just in the elimination chamber. And this week, Naomi will be fighting. Who is she fighting? Chelsea Green, and they will be
Ooh,
also doing a qualifying match for the elimination chamber.
that's actually an interesting match, especially with her being U.S. champion.
Well, so my thing, and did I put that on there? Yeah, we'll talk more about it later if we want when we talk about the women's match. But for both the women's qualifying matches, I did not pick the champion because I wasn't sure if they were going to put the mid card champion in. That turned out to
Yeah,
be right for the Bailey one,
as
but
I
I don't know if
say,
that's going to be right
it's
for the Naomi one now.
no. You know what? It's a good point. Never mind. I take it back. Naomi's winning. Okay, continue.
All right, so moving
Right.
on.
Yes.
Next match on SmackDown, the tag team title division, and I don't know if I've said enough. I'm really enjoying the storyline with it. I think they're really integrating all these teams well and making the division pretty important. Pretty Deadly comes out with Nick Aldis and says like, we want a title shot. Aldis says if you can beat him right now, you get your title shot. They have a match. Pretty Deadly wins, has a future title shot against DIY. Furthering this, because we know Street Profits are in the background, Motor City Machine Guns and La Garza were talking, and they have a match for next week to kind of like settle their feud. So the tag team division on SmackDown is really picking up right now.
Eaten up, as they would say, Jr. Um,
I'm sure you
yeah,
saw this, because I think some people had DIY on their fantasy, right?
yeah. Some people had Gargano and Ciampa. So the good thing about it is watching some of these matches is that like, with WWE, like it kind of in all wrestling, a finisher is never really going to be hit without the announcers like really like
Yeah,
losing
yeah,
their
yeah.
mind. So like I can put this match on and like not really look at it, kind of like just listen like an audiobook. Um,
That's great. I'm sure
no,
everyone wants to hear that, Juice.
listen. I mean, I'm paying attention. I'm scoring everything, and
Joking,
as I'm saying, if anything seems off with scoring, always call me out on it. I'll go back
watching
and rewatch.
guys.
Um, I'm catching. I mean, I went back and watched the Rumble twice. All right, so get off.
But how we feel about tag team division on SmackDown?
Yeah. Listen. I mean, I don't really care for Pretty Deadly, but
Oh,
all the other tag teams, I'm not.
bro,
A fan
they're
of Pretty
in your
Deadly.
stable.
Okay, doesn't mean I like them. That's called being
How
a
dare
good
you?
booker. It's called being a good booker, not booking your favorites. Okay, Papa H. Um. No, yeah, I'm not really a Pretty Deadly fan. I haven't liked them since NXT UK. I just, I know what they're doing. I get what they're doing. I just don't care for like that whole gimmick, and I don't think they're that talented personally. Um, but all the other tag teams I like, DIY, Machine Guns, Street Profits, even La Garza. Even though I think Umberto's a little boring. Is it still Umberto and Angel, or is
Yeah.
it somebody else now?
No, Umberto
That
and
tag
Angel.
team. I don't really care for Umberto. I think he has
No,
no
that's fair.
charisma.
I
But that
think,
balances out because Garza is like
yeah.
stud in that sense.
And
Like,
and I think what's good about this is we were trying to figure out like for WrestleMania what the four-way is going to be, and this takes out Pretty Deadly because if they have a title match coming up, you kind of hope that now like Motor City Machine Guns, Street Profits, La Garza, they're going to be starting to build up for the WrestleMania season and get Pretty Deadly out of the way now. But we'll see. I don't know how that works.
I
Maybe
still
it'll
think
be a
it's
five-way match.
I still think it's a triple threat.
We'll find out.
We'll see.
All right. Moving on. This was a weird segment. Did you catch this at all?
I caught it, but like
I wasn't sure.
man, yeah, I caught it. What is Hayes and Tozawa doing, man?
The reason I have it on here, and it's out of a complaint, and my complaint is they gave this match so much time for what, like, it shouldn't have been given this much time. We complain about all these other matches that get like Sherman or whatever. You gave Hayes and Tozawa almost 10 minutes of TV time for what? I don't understand. And Hayes doesn't even win.
So I like Hayes and I like Tozawa, and I mean I don't know. I didn't really hate it. I
I
mean, those are
just
two
think,
talents I like.
yeah,
So
but I just think when you have like Tozawa as pretty much you've set him as set him up as a glorified squash. Even if you're gonna have him get a fluke win, it doesn't need to be given so much time when you're trying to like set up other talents. It's WrestleMania season. These two aren't gonna have a WrestleMania or Elimination Chamber feud. Like I don't know. It's just to me just
and
TV
by the
time
way,
that didn't need to be given.
Carmelo Hayes did win, so I don't know
Did
what you're
he?
talking about.
I thought he
Yeah,
had the fluke loss. That's
so
how
I'm not
upset I
sure what
was.
you're. I'm not
I
sure
stopped
what
watching
you're.
probably after a while.
I'm not sure which show you're watching, but
Now I
Carmelo did
stopped.
win that match.
We'll find out. All right, moving on. I just was said how much time they got. I just didn't think they deserved that much time personally.
And also, just to fact check you, I did look. It was 7.5 minutes, not 10. But I get your point.
All right.
You wanted him to
Moving
win
on.
in like two. You wanted him to win in like a minute and two.
Exactly.
Be done.
We had another elimination chamber qualifier, triple threat, which is something that now I guess since SmackDown is the official 3-hour show, they have the multi-man matches and Raw has the single man matches. I don't
But
know.
why isn't Raw doing the 2.5 matches?
I no idea. So we had Drew McIntyre, Jimmy Uso, LA Knight. There was a little fun back and forth with Drew and Jimmy beforehand. Don't know if you heard the promo part. I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. Obviously, Drew comes out the victor going into the Elimination Chamber. No surprise there. What do we think of the match? What do we think of the segment?
It was weird, man. I mean, like everybody was like glorifying it and loving it because he did like the whole mental health thing, but it just felt so out of like place. Like I didn't hate it, but I was just like, why? Why are we doing this right now? Like, he just came out and got all mad
sure if
serious.
like something happened or if there was like a local wrestler or like that's what I thought it was personally. So I was like, all right. And then he went into like, the thing with Drew. But like when he went into all that, I was like, oh, it must be something that happened around the area or like someone close to him that like he has to plug. I don't know.
Because they also, I mean, we never talked about it last week. But apparently there was like some heat with like a spot at the Rumble. I don't know if you saw
So I was
this.
going to bring that up also because of this specific match because it looked like it kind of spilled into the match. I don't know if you noticed that spot, but
yeah.
So
and you know what, man? You go. Sorry.
So just to explain to anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, apparently in the Rumble there was heat from Drew McIntyre towards LA Knight because Drew felt that LA was kind of grandstanding and took away from his elimination. Supposedly the elimination didn't happen on time because of things that LA Knight was doing and that LA Knight was just trying to be a glory hog during the match. Then if you watch the match on SmackDown, at one point Drew smacks LA Knight in the back of the head and I'm sorry, no, that's not what happened. I'm sorry. LA Knight kicks Drew in the face when Drew's down. And Drew doesn't react like he's like staying down. You can tell he got hit and looked around and got mad and got up right away. Smacked LA Knight in the back of the head while he was attacking Jimmy. LA turned around and wasn't like starting to throw punches. They legit like wrapped up and like were throwing like kind of things until Jimmy came over and like started wrestling the match again. So it looked a little weird. I don't know if that was part of the story. I don't know if they were trying to make it look real, but like it didn't look real to me. I mean, it did look real to me. It didn't look like it was planned to me. That's what I meant to say. Sorry.
You're forgiven. No, honestly, I think this is much ado about nothing. I think, I'm not going to dissect the whole spot from the Rumble, but I did watch it back after the fact, and like, listen, man, that's just a miscommunication. Like, also, like a lot of people were saying it was either Logan or LA Knight, not just LA Knight, because like basically Logan and LA were in a standoff, ready to start their spot, and then all of a sudden Priest and Drew were doing their spot, and it's just they just collided. So something was off. Something was a miscommunication. I think people are making it a bigger deal than it is. I don't think it's anything. I think they're just I think they're capitalizing on it now with the match. But that's just my opinion. I don't think it was anything.
All right. And then other people speculated that Drew was just mad because like his WrestleMania opponent is Damian Priest and he's not happy about that also. So that was another speculation. And we'll see if that comes to fruition. It looks like that's where it's kind of head, especially with Elimination Chamber. I'm pretty sure Not
Hmm.
spoiling, but I think Priest is going to win next week, and I think that's going to put him in the Elimination Chamber. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
All gonna make me watch a Damian Priest match in
I
2025. I see
know,
how it is.
man. I know. All right.
Maybe I'll
Last
lose.
SmackDown note: we had an interaction between Charlotte, Stratton, eventually Nia Jax, and Alexa Bliss. What did you think about this? Because I know you were a big proponent of Charlotte versus Stratton at WrestleMania. So I want to
Yeah.
see if after SmackDown, you said after SmackDown you were gonna like solidify it or not. So I want to see what you think.
Yeah, this is the match that's happening.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, they're doing it, especially with Rhea being so involved with. Do you have Rhea on here? You don't, so I'll just talk
I
about it
don't.
now.
Yeah, you can.
Like, like, don't even get me started on Rhea just giving Io a title shot, the Raw after Chamber.
Very strange.
Like fuck all of that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like, you do the Rumble, you do the Chamber, the people have to earn these matches, and like Rhea can just be like, okay, you get a match. Like, I'm not feeling that,
Yeah.
especially like not at the Chamber.
Why wouldn't you do it at the Chamber?
Just do it at the
It's not
Chamber.
like you're in
So,
the Chamber. Io's not in the Chamber. Why wouldn't you do it at the Chamber? Yeah,
oh,
no. Very stupid, very poorly
very
planned.
stupid. But getting back, all of that going on makes me think that that's clearly in an orbit of its own story right now.
But you don't think
Charlotte
that's
doesn't
another
really.
thing where they're trying to get Io out of, like, they're trying to give Io that to give Rhea something that's not Liv Morgan until Mania, until Charlotte?
No,
Because I don't think Charlotte's
also,
making a decision until Elimination Chamber.
and also not to jump the gun here, but since our favorite Uso picked the Raw champion because WWE can't help themselves, Charlotte is going to pick the SmackDown champion. They're going to split it.
They don't always. Do they always do that?
Probably. I'm
I
pretty
want
sure
to
they
see
do.
the percentages of this.
Um,
Next week, bring some facts about that, juicy boy. I'll look it
oh,
up too. I'll try.
you know, like that brain. Okay.
I'll try.
No, but listen, I didn't. I mean, yeah. Listen, whatever. I mean, Charlotte reverted back to being a heel again because
Yes.
why not? Um, whatever. Yeah,
and
I
and
think they're
that's
doing
and
Charlotte
that's
in
why
the
I'm
strategy.
not sure because of how Charlotte was so heely, and they might want to do the trio like they might just want to cap off this like third match between Rhea and Charlotte and then move on because you have a lot more time to do Charlotte and Stratton than you have to do Charlotte and Rhea because Charlotte and Rhea is still kind of fresh. That's her natural state. I agree. That is Charlotte's natural state. That's why I'm so confused why they were even like pretending to do a baby face in the first place. And then the other news, like we were just talking, Jackson Stratton also have a title match now. That's been made official, I believe, for next week. How do you feel about that?
I didn't even know that. Did they?
I believe it's for next week. Let me double check. But I know Nia Jax said that she doesn't have to beat 5 women. She just has to beat Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's tomorrow, not next week.
Oh, sorry. Tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow.
That's probably why I got thrown off. Okay.
That's what I meant. I don't know why I said next week.
Yeah, that's fine. I forget.
So yeah. So that's another thing where now like both and it's strange how both women have to defend their belts and both men are just chilling until WrestleMania now. I don't know. Well,
Whatever.
technically Cody isn't, but I don't care about Solo, so Cody's chilling to WrestleMania.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
All right.
Solo.
We're going to move on and we're going to talk about how WWE cannot help themselves and have already announced Jey Uso versus Gunther. And what's annoying was I enjoyed the back and forth between Cody and Jey on SmackDown. Like I enjoyed that little like, hey man, I got stuff with Gunther on Raw, but like you would be a great match. Like that's something I have a problem with, but like I understand you and the WWE Championship. I liked it. And then right away on Raw, they do the attack, and they don't even let it kind of fester for a while. Like, let him attack him. I didn't mind that. But he has to announce right away that he's going to challenge him. And he even says it, like, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do this. Like, ugh.
I don't mind it.
You don't mind it? Okay.
I didn't hate it. I mean, listen, the one thing I did hate is how they've now, as they always do, they've taken a sincere, legitimate moment from last Monday and they've manufactured it to do it every episode now. Where they kind of like stop the music, the crowd wants it. He looks at the camera, does this, and then he goes to the turnbuckle and do it. It's like whatever. But I don't mind how the segment went down with him challenging and accepting and all that, doing it now. That's completely fine with me, and it's the right way to go. I'd rather Jay and Walter than Cody and
Oh
than
yeah,
Cody and
I
Jay.
don't mind that that's the match. I just kind of like give it a couple more weeks. I don't know. Not everything has to be right away. Like you can let that kind of go on for a
No, I
little bit
mean,
longer. It wouldn't be a big
usually
deal.
Rumble. Usually the wrestlers pick who they pick like the week after. So I mean, I don't mind it. I think it's the
Not
right time.
always.
I think it's the right time.
All right. Agree to disagree there. But no, I do agree. I think the encore is already getting excessive, and it's only happened 2 more times after the original. I hope they stops now. I hope like they
It's
good at
not.
their attack.
It's
You
not.
don't think so?
It's
That's
not
very upsetting.
everyone's gonna want it. That's how wrestling
Ah.
brain goes. Give me what I want. I want the thing. I want to do the yeet.
All
And
right.
then you stop, and then give me the yeet.
Moving on.
Yeet.
We had our Raw Women's Elimination Chamber match with Bailey versus Valkyria. Bailey winning, which when I was, like I said, when I was making the fantasy decisions, I wasn't sure if I should pick Bailey and Naomi because I wasn't sure if I thought both mid card champions would lose. And then remembering that it's the chamber match, remembering the storylines that they're trying to do, and how Chelsea and Illyria are not a part of any storyline really that's going to go into the chamber. I think it's the right call to have Bailey win. I think it's the right call to have Naomi win because I think also Jade is going to get involved in Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I mean, I don't I was surprised. I was surprised that Bailey beat Lyra. But I will say I'm okay with Bailey winning as long as Roxanne is winning next week.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, that's my bad. It is Lyra, not Lyra. I think I'm the one that told you Lyra.
I'm like Lyra. You saw me
Yeah,
mouthing it.
yeah. That's my bad. It's Lyra Valkyria. So I swear it used to be Lyra. Either way, yeah. As long as Roxanne is beating
Oh
Raquel and getting
man.
in there, because I mean, my mindset was Bailey's going to be in the NXT title match this weekend. Roxanne's in there, different thing. She won't be in the thing and whatever.
We'll see.
I don't mind it. I don't hate it. Yeah, I dug the match. It was a very solid match, and it's
Yeah.
not on here, so I just wanted to throw out really quick. I also really enjoyed the Damage Control Liv Raquel match. I thought it was very well done for like a TV match.
Mm-hmm.
I dug it a lot.
No,
So
good
that
tag team
first
match. I agree with you.
that's kind of why I brought it up before. That first like half hour, 35 minutes, where it was just like that tag and then this. It was all the women. It was
Mm-hmm.
very good.
No, I
So
liked it, and I hope they continue that because it's showcasing how good they are, and just let them rock. I agree.
yeah.
Next up, AJ Styles returns. Dom Mysterio and him have a promo, and I didn't expect Dom to be his first opponent, and I really like that Dom's his first opponent, and like his first feud back. They're going to be having a match next week, and at the same time, Finn Balor came back. Him and Seth Rollins are having a qualifying match on Monday, and him and Dom got into it backstage where it looks like it's going to be Finn breaking away from Judgment Day and either Dom becoming the new leader and bringing someone in or however it's going to be, but like you can tell that breakup's going to happen as well. Your thoughts on all of that?
When that backstage segment started, where Finn and Dom were fighting with each other, I almost canceled the fantasy game right there because it took me instantly back to the endless, stupid Judgment Day segments that were on every Monday Night Raw
But R-Truth was
with
so much fun.
with Priest and Rhea fighting just like this, and I was just like, this is so tired. Like, oh my god, like I couldn't stand it. Finn is going to be replaced by Black, but heard a rumor it could be Omos.
I don't think it's going to
Yeah,
be Black because I think Black's going to SmackDown.
yeah,
So I don't think it's going to be Malachi.
Zelina's there,
And
and
also, I don't see how Malachi fits in with Dom and JD and Carlito. Like, I don't
yeah,
think so. I
that's
think they're
just
going to bring in either another Hispanic guy to kind of like make that more of a Hispanic kind of group to go opposite LWO. Omos makes sense as a bodyguard. Yeah, I could see Omos, but I think you broke Juice by saying Omos. I'm not sure.
No, you did because like
Oh,
both of you, I guess, did.
what'd I
Why are we
say?
talking about continuing and adding members to the judgment?
We
Blow
already
it up and
told we already
move
told you
on.
that's what's gonna happen. Dom said this past week we gotta add a new member. Finn's gonna be out. Dom's gonna be the leader of this group because they're gonna let Dirty Dom be the head of a stable and let him kind of be the head heel. And they're gonna bring someone else in. Omos, I
Can't.
agree. I think Omos could make sense as far as a bodyguard. I hate Omos and I'm not going to want to watch him, and that's going to further Juice never liking the Judgment Day. But Omos
I'm
might
never
be a
gonna like the
choice.
Judgment Day.
I'm just saying.
I
Now,
don't like Judgment Day since
when you
day
saw
one.
that segment, though, did you notice Liv Morgan's face?
Yeah, she got all cut up
Oh
during the
my
match.
God, bro. I didn't even realize how
Yeah.
bad it was until that segment. Because, like, I saw her
Yeah.
kind of holding it and I saw her, like, kind of hiding it. But, oh, man, that segment, she looked like Two-Face a little bit. That shit was crazy. I felt bad for her.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, me too.
Good timing. Moving on. Oh, gonna reset that one more time.
Stupid Judgment Day. Can't stand them.
Raw
I really.
Tag Team title match. I am so annoyed that they did not announce this beforehand because I enjoyed it. I like the Creed brothers. I was hoping that they would win. I was hoping that because they didn't announce it beforehand, that they would do something where the Creed brothers win. Didn't happen, obviously, but I see that this is going to be like the kind of storyline going forward, and I'm okay with that. But did you watch it? What did you feel about it?
Yeah, no, I watched it. Of course I did. Why would I not watch it?
I wasn't.
People had the Creed.
I wasn't sure if anyone had the Creed brothers.
You know, people had the Creed brothers, and someone had Ivar as well, and
Smart.
also Ivy Nile. So yeah, no, so I did watch it, and I do like all of them. While I do think the War Raiders are a little washed up, personally, I used to like them a lot.
Yeah.
But either way, watched the match. It was fine. It was a nice, fun tag title match. I really wanted them to win.
Mhm.
The Creeds, but especially with the whole setup, the red, white, and blue they were wearing. Last they did not. If I recall, like they used the. I don't get why they used the belts and did a DQ. Like
It didn't make
it wasn't like
sense.
it wasn't over. Like they weren't
Yeah.
like as far as I recall, they weren't like on like the ropes, like getting them a loss. One of them just grabbed the belt and hit the
I
other.
believe they were about to hit the finisher, if I remember correctly. They were about to hit the finisher because I think he had Julius up and he was running into the ropes. But, like, just trip him. I don't understand why you had to hit him with the belt. Like,
Yeah,
and it's not like
mean,
it's not like there was anything that was frustrating. Like, it's not like they were getting dominated or something like that, where like he was just frustrated and like couldn't catch a break. Like they were doing pretty well in the match, so it
yeah.
didn't make sense to me either. It's just to further the feud and to make sure like their heels, fine, but
Well,
you could have
it's
done
for
it a
that, and
different
also
way.
yeah, and I don't mind them losing. I think also what's going
Exactly.
to happen is like Ivy Nile will lose her match, and it's going to make Chad come back and be like, "I leave, and you guys are in shambles, can't even win." So I get it. It's just I don't know. Whatever. I'm ending.
Um, I think also WrestleMania, Chad, and I don't know who's his partner is going to be, but Chad and someone versus Ray and Phoenix.
You mean Penta?
Penta? You said Phoenix because you said Phoenix before.
You said Phoenix.
No, you said Phoenix.
What?
All right, just putting that match out there. So no, I do think it's gonna be Ray and Penta versus Chad and someone for WrestleMania. Especially because Ray lost his qualifying match against Logan Paul last night after Logan Paul and Punk had a very interesting. I'm sorry, on Raw. I'm mixing all my nights up. After Logan and Punk had a nice little back and forth on the mic, what did we think about that whole ending segment? I know you hate Logan Paul, so like probably a lot of hate, but you love CM Punk, so a lot of love and hate. I don't know, man.
This is dire straits, Danny. Yeah, I kind of told you this the other night, but this Mania is not going to be a good one.
I agree.
Like this, honestly, not even joking. This solidified for me. Cena's winning the Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing Cena versus Cody, and they're gonna do Logan Paul versus Punk.
I agree.
Like that's it. After the Rumble, like first off, the Rumble ended with Cena and Uso. They love doing where the runner-up always gets the other title match anyway in the booking, which is stupid. I hate that they do that every year now. It feels like. Um, and then you did the elimination thing with Punk and Logan. Then you do that segment with Punk and Logan. So it's coming.
And also,
They're gonna do it.
Punk was the first one to mention Logan a few weeks back with the KO segment. So, like, Punk took the first shot, and everyone was like, oh, like, is that why? And then from there, it took off, and we knew where it was going.
Yeah,
so
they're doing it. And, like, it sucks. Like, again, I'm going to keep poo-pooing all over it, but it's like, you have a Jey Uso world title match, a Charlotte world title match, a John Cena world title match. You have Punk versus Logan. Like, that's all, for me at least, that's like nightmare. Like, it's terrible. None of that excites me. Like, and until I see the whole card right now, it's going to be Owens and Sammy, and that's it. Like, everything else is going to be not good, in my opinion.
Playing devil's advocate, like I tried to do last week, Jay winning the Royal Rumble and going for a world title match, I might not be excited about it, but I can see how obviously a lot of fans are excited about that. So that one I'm fine with them doing because there's a very large and different fan base that agrees with that. Charlotte Flair doesn't make sense to me because it seems like universally that's an unpopular decision. No matter what age you are, no one wants to see Charlotte Flair in the main event. No one wants to see Cena for a world title. Like, again, you have the smaller contingent that are like, oh, now I respect Cena even though I hated him for 10 years, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. You hated the guy for so long. Now that he's retired, don't give me that bullshit that, oh, now he's great. He deserves that last run. It's still the Cena you hated. Don't give me that bullshit. And then this match with Logan Paul and CM Punk, this is where I'm a little bit back and forth on the fence. Because, yes, as a person, hate Logan Paul, never going to be a fan of his, yada, yada, yada. But if you are a fan of Logan Paul and this new up-and-coming thing, this is almost a passing of the torch with Punk and Paul because this is old versus new. This is...
Danny, I'm going offline. Good night. You can't say that. How dare you? You serious right now? A passing of the fucking torch.
You don't...
What is...
Do you honestly think...
Are you fucking kidding me?
Do you honestly think if Punk versus Logan Paul has lost the last few Manias, do you not think Paul might win this... might beat Punk at this year's Mania? I'm just saying,
Paul,
man.
He won last year.
What I'm trying to say is that because he's lost a lot of big matches, they might give him a win against Punk at Mania.
Okay, I'm not saying that's out of the question, but the whole passing of the torch thing, you're out of your mind.
What?
No.
What is literally the meaning of the phrase passing of the torch? The older generation superstar loses for the newer generation. Logan Paul, whether you like it or not, is the future of the WWE. Okay. Punk is the past of the WWE. If Paul beats Punk, that is what I mean by passing of the torch.
No. Passing of the torch is a very, it's a very specific thing for, the top of the food chain. Like, you can't just pass the torch, because you beat somebody or put somebody... You could put somebody over, but passing of the torch is when Rock beats Hogan, or when the upper people, they're already up there, the new generation. Let's say it's Cena beating The Rock or something like that. Passing of the torch, that's not what this is. It's Punk putting Logan over and helping him get elevated, but it's not a passing of the torch. That's a generational legacy thing. That's way higher standard of a phrase in wrestling.
Okay, I can see that part. I still think this is kind of Logan Paul is going to get put over as once I beat Punk, I'm a main eventer now for sure. There's no question about it.
Also, it's like, like someone's like retiring or on the way out. Like, for example, if like Ray, like let's say Penta beats Ray and Ray's retiring, that's passing of the torch. Like, it's something like that, like a big moment or something like that. So this isn't like if Punk was like leaving and Logan was like ascending and becoming the next like Punk, it makes sense. You have to become the next version of that thing.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
I'm just saying. I'm you said passing of the torch and you got me.
No way.
Because I'm not justifying Paul beating Punk. I know that's a possibility and can happen, but no, Angle. No, that's not. I knew you were gonna bring up Angle and Corbin when I said that, but no, it's not passing of the torch. Maybe in Vince's head, but that's it. Because Corbin did
Yeah,
nothing with it.
really passing the torch, and then you fucking release him a few years later, you dumbasses. All right.
Yeah.
Great show.
Damn.
We had a lot to talk about. We got Juice riled up. That means we had a good show tonight, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed Grand Slam this weekend. Remember, stay out spoilers. It will be pretty much shown the night before. Once you wake up, all the news will be out there. But enjoy Grand Slam whenever you watch it. Enjoy NXT if you are watching that. Please come back Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. We're going to do another game night. And then next week, Thursday, we'll go over Grand Slam. We'll do some more This Week in Wrestling. So big week ahead. Please join us. Have a great night, everyone. See you later, Juice.
See you real soon.